Thank you for joining us today. Today, we will be discussing the Back to Business and Belvidere Grant, brought to you by the City of Belvidere. The Back to Business and Belvidere Grant will provide economic support grants to local businesses, small businesses that have experienced significant disruption or temporary closure attributable to the COVID-19 public health emergency. The grant is intended to support operational costs such as payroll, rent, utilities, and replenishment of inventory. Other costs that arose as a result of economic losses experienced due to COVID-19 will be considered on a case-by-case basis. Grants may not be used for severance pay, workforce bonuses, property taxes, other tax fees or payments due to legal settlements, or expenditures that will be reimbursed through another federal program. The program is open to small businesses in the City of Belvidere that have experienced economic distress and significant financial losses due to COVID-19. Eligible businesses will meet all of these criteria. They're located in the City of Belvidere. They are incorporated, a partnership, or sole proprietorship. They were in business before January 1st, 2020. They earned less than $2.5 million in 2019. They can document a significant negative business financial impact due to COVID-19, and they are expected to be fully operational after local and state emergency guidelines have ended. Businesses or organizations will be ineligible if it is a taxing body, is a municipality, is located outside the Belvidere city limits, it was in business after January 1st, 2020. It earned more than $2.5 million in revenues in 2019. It has not seen negative financial impacts due to COVID-19, or they will not be fully operational after local and state emergency guidelines have ended. Back to Business grant awards will range from $1 up to $25,000, again with $25,000 being the maximum amount awarded. Grant recipients will be awarded funds based on monthly operational expenses and loss of revenue throughout the pandemic. The grants will be geographically distributed based on business demographics and representation of minority and women-owned businesses. Preference will be given to businesses who have not received federal or state COVID-19 financial assistance, such as PPP, EIDL, or business interruption grant. Applications will be accepted through December 15th, 2020, or for as long as funding is available to the City of Belvidere through the State of Illinois CARES Grant. Completed applications should be submitted to Growth Dimensions Economic Development at 401 Whitney Boulevard, Belvidere, emailed to info@growthdimensions.org, or an application may be completed online at the URL listed here on this page. Before you begin, there are some things that you will want to have prepared ahead of time and ready to be used during the application. To the left, you will notice a list of required documents. The businesses need to make sure that they submit 2019 tax returns. If you have not filed your 2019 tax returns, you may attach your 2018 tax returns. If you have not, and along with the 2018 tax returns, also your year-end 2019 financial statements. If your business is less than 1 year old and you have not filed taxes for this business before, you may submit a recent financial statement. You will also be submitting 2 bank statements from corresponding months in 2019 and 2020 that show the business or sole proprietor name and address, and also show a year-over-year decline in income or revenue. For example, you may submit a July 2019 and a July 2020 bank statement, as well as a November 2019 and November 2020 bank statement for an example. You will want to provide your proof of business. Submit your active state business registration or local business registration or license. You will be submitting the business owner identification. If you are an individual filling out this form for a business owner, please make sure that you're using the owner's identification. So this can either be a driver's license, a state ID, or a passport. Also, please make sure that you have available a completed W-9. Submit the most recent one that you have on file. Also, you'll be submitting a copy of your business property's rental invoice or agreement, which shows your rental costs, or your monthly mortgage statement. If you currently do not have a lease or rent or hold a mortgage on your business property, please upload a signed letter or statement signifying there is no lease or lien on your business property. Finally, you'll be asked to upload an explanation of business interruption. So submit further documentations, a letter and or narrative showing proof or describing the financial interruption to your business caused by COVID-19. Other items to make sure that you know before completing the application is your tax ID or employer ID number. If you are a sole proprietorship and use your social security number, you may also use that on the application. Signify your years in business, the amount you're requesting for the grant, a narrative on how your business has been impacted by COVID-19 financially or otherwise. This may be a brief narrative as you will be submitting the application of business interruption in your required documents. Also, please know the number of full-time employees as well as part-time employees. These are separated on the application, so make sure that you know the number of both and not just a combined full-time equivalency or FTE. Also make sure that you know your monthly mortgage or rental amount, excluding utilities. And also please be ready to give information on any COVID-19 funds or grants or loans that you may have received from local, state, or federal sources. There are 3 different ways in which you may apply. For this grant, it is the same application, just 3 different versions, depending on how you would like to apply for this loan. The first one, to your left, is a Google form. In order to complete the application online, you do need to have a Google account. If you do not have a Google account, then we recommend that you use either the fillable PDF, which is the one in the middle, which may be submitted to Growth Dimensions at 401 Whitney Boulevard, or it may be emailed to info@growthdimensions.org. The final one that we have is over here to your far right. This is a printable version, which you may fill out by hand and submit to Growth Dimensions at 401 Whitney Boulevard, or scan and email to Growth Dimensions at info@growthdimensions.org. We are going to go ahead and go through a sample application today. It's going to be this one on the left. We are going to click on this URL right here at the bottom, which will take us there. So as you can see, we do have the application pulled up here, and this will be taking you through multiple screens. So you're going to click next to get to each section. This first page here is just talking about the stuff that we've already discussed in this webinar so far, this presentation. It's just the overview of the program. So we're going to go ahead and hit next. But before we proceed, you'll notice here at the bottom, it will ask if this is the correct account that you want to use. If not, you may switch account here and use a different Google account should you wish to submit this application through a different account than is already showing. Our next page will go through things you need to know. Again, these are items that we've already discussed in this presentation, but these will give you direct links to required documents. This will also take you to the 2 different forms that we showed you, being the fillable PDF and the printable version. This will also give you information on where to send the applications should you choose to do them offline and not on the online form. So next, We go into the application. Here are your eligibility requirements. Again, is your business located in the city of Belvidere? That should be yes. If it's no, if you are not located in the city, you are not eligible for this grant. Has your business experienced operating losses directly arising from COVID-19? Again, if you have experienced those losses, you'll click yes. If no, you are not eligible for this grant. Next, you'll be putting in the applicant first and last name, and the applicant is the business owner. So we have here the business owner information. So again, your applicant is your business owner. If you are filling this out for an owner, there will be another section that you can fill out going forward, and we will get to that soon. Just make sure that you're filling out everything that has a red star, as those are required fields. And make sure you have your email address in here, very important for this, and the phone number. So if we have further questions, we can reach out to you. Next, we'll have the primary business owner race. This is the race, again, of the business owner. So make sure that you choose the applicable field or other, should you need to use that. So to proceed, I'm just going to go ahead and click on one. And last on this page for the owner, we're going to go ahead and identify the gender. So whatever the gender of the owner identifies as will be the one you choose. So for this one, we're going to go ahead and choose one. And next. As we talked about, if you are a designee, if you are filling this application out on behalf of a business owner, this is where you're going to put your information in. So again, important to make sure that you have the phone number and your email address in here so we can make sure to reach out to you should we have any questions. You will notice that on this page, this is not required. So again, if you are filling this out on your own as the business owner and do not have a designee, you can simply go ahead and hit next through this. Looking at the time, we're going to go and just hit next right here. Next will be the business information. This is where you're going to put the legal business of the name, or the legal business name. And if you operate as a doing business as, then you will put your DBA here. Again, you will notice that this is not required. So if you do not function as a DBA, you can leave that blank. Next, you will be putting in your tax ID number or employee identification number. As we mentioned before, if you are a sole proprietor and you use your social security number, you can go ahead and enter that in here as well. Primary business address. This is the address of the location that is in Belvidere. If you have headquarters outside the city of Belvidere, please make sure that you're using the Belvidere address location. And then you're going to put in your type of business. How many years you've been in business, and your annual revenue in 2019. And here, as we mentioned before in our presentation, you're going to list out how many full-time employees you have and how many part-time employees you have. Lastly, on this page, you're going to put how much you are requesting from the Belvidere Grant. And also with the grant amount, the amount that you request and the amount you may receive could be different. Next, you will want to go ahead and provide a brief overview of how COVID-19 has impacted your business financially. Next, your property ownership. This is where we're going to see if you have a lease you rent, if you own with a mortgage, or if you own without a mortgage, or other, should that apply. We're going to go ahead and click rent on this one. Please make sure that you're putting in your monthly payment here, and this is minus utilities. In addition, you may also, if you have received any federal, local, state funding due to COVID or from COVID relief, then you may put those here. So we have a few different options you may choose from. If you have not received any financial aid for COVID-19, then you can click the no here. If there are others that we have not listed above here, you can click other and put the name of that fund there. Again, not a required field, although you can click no, but go ahead and just let's choose a couple just so we can go ahead and go through this process. Next, we get to uploading of the documents. As we mentioned before, there was a list of documents that you needed to upload. So make sure that you have those ready to go when you get to this section, so you do not have to back out and redo this all again. So once you are in the middle of an application, it will not save. So you will want to make sure that you have this ahead of time. Don't want to have to do double the work. So we're going to go ahead and just upload some documents here. So you'll see it needs the 2019 business tax returns, and that's where we're going to add the file right here. And we'll just add from my device. You may have these either on your computer, or you may have them already set in the Google file on your Google Drive. So wherever you have them saved is where we're going to go ahead and pull them from. And once we have it set, we just upload. And let's say I put in the wrong one. So I put in the property payment here, but I meant to put in my tax returns. All we do is simply just X out the one we want to get rid of, go back in, and now we can choose the right one. And again, just simply upload. And we'll go through the same process for the rest of these. You're going to go ahead and upload your bank statements. And again, at least 2. And we'll just put the multiple ones on here for now. So we have month 1, month 2. And again, if you get here and need to add some more files, simply click on add more files. Otherwise, go ahead and upload. Proof of business. Let's go ahead and upload one for that as well. I'll upload. And you'll notice that we're going to go ahead and go through all of these. If you have not filled out a section that has a required field, it will not let you proceed past this page. For instance, let's just go through an example. Let's click next. You'll notice that you cannot advance because it's saying that this is a required question. So let's go ahead and we'll keep getting these uploaded here. Next, we're going to put in the business owner's ID. And upload. Completed W-9. And again, this is all stuff that we talked about previously in this presentation. And now our property payment. Again, with this one, if you do not currently have a lease, any rental agreements, or a mortgage on this, you can simply upload a signed letter or document showing that you have complete ownership of it and you do not have a mortgage or rent agreement on it. And finally, in the document section is where you're going to put your explanation of business interruption. This is where you're going to get more in detail about how you've been impacted in your business financially due to COVID-19. Okay, so once we have all of our required documents put in, we're going to go ahead and hit next. And here you'll read through the applicant certification that you have filled this out appropriately and truthfully, and by providing your name below, simply by typing it in, that you agree to the aforementioned applicant certificate, and you understand that you may be asked to supply a full signature at a later date. The name that you put in here is going to be who, either the business owner or the designee, or you can put both. And you can see I hit next, I forgot to do it. So we're going to put the name in here of the applicant to move on. And next you'll be taken to where you can view a sample of the agreement. Should your application get approved, then you will receive a personalized agreement, but for now, you can look to see what the agreement says and how it's laid out. So feel free when you're going through this to go ahead and view this sample agreement if you choose. We do encourage you to look at it. Okay, and again, no requirements here, so we're going to go ahead and hit next. And finally, on this last one, we thank you for filling out the application. All applicants will be contacted within 2 business days verifying receipt of their application. That does not mean within 2 business days you will have an answer on whether or not your application has been approved. This will simply be to let you know that your application has been received. And once that's done, you can submit, and that is the end of the application. On the last page, it will then tell you that you are able to go in and see your previous responses. You can edit your response, or you can submit another response. So if you wanted to submit another response, let's say that you have 2 separate businesses in the city of Belvidere. You could fill out an application for one business, then go back in and submit your application for another business. Okay, so that's where and how you apply for this grant opportunity. If you need further assistance, if you have general grant and application questions, you may contact Becky Tobin, the City of Belvidere's Finance Director, at 815-544-2612, or you can email her at btobin@ci.belvidere.il.us. Should you have questions on the application, whether it be technical or submission questions, you can reach out to a Growth Dimensions representative at 815-547-4252, or you can email info@growthdimensions.org.